What is up, everybody? I am Legend, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about or answering an age-old question. Do you need to know music theory in order to make music? Let's find out. So what is up, everybody? I am Legend, as you already know, and in today's video I'm just gonna sit here with my dog and chill and talk a little bit about this question that I am asked constantly, and that is, do you need to know music theory in order to be able to make music? Whether you're a musician or a singer, I have my own reservations, as you may have heard my story on how I learned to make music, but I'm not going to answer the question until the end of the video. I'm going to let these examples that I show you kind of demonstrate to you the answer to this question, because it's very obvious. So first off, there's a lot of artists in the music industry, past, present, and future, who they got started in music and they got started in unconventional ways. They didn't even think that they were going to be musicians, but then they became musicians and they became some of the greatest musicians that we know today. We're going to be talking about a few that I know and a few that are very popular amongst everybody. So first, I want to talk about someone who resonates with me a whole lot because I've sampled them and I got my first actual beat placement, Richie Havens. Very prominent guitar player. I don't think he gets enough notice, but he is amazing, and I'll show you just a little bit of a taste of his work.
He became a professional gospel singer at 14 and graduated to Greenwich Village, where he taught himself the guitar. He's here now for his first television appearance in this country to sing High Flying Bird.
So he taught himself guitar. I just want to put that out there. He taught himself guitar. Now let's see if teaching yourself, not having actual lessons and trainings, can get you with good results. So far, so good.
There's a high-flying bird, flying way up in the sky, and I wonder if she looks down as she goes on by.
So this is one of my favorite songs by Richie Havens, High Flying Bird. This is actually the first song that I heard of him.
Give up the funk. I want the funk. I want to
So anyway, that's just a little history. What are you doing, dog? A little history with me and Richie Havens. But as you guys heard, he taught himself guitar, and he's playing guitar like this. I mean, I'm no guitar expert, but he's doing this thing with his thumb. So you can tell that he's kind of self-taught in the way that he plays, because it's very unconventional, at least in my eyes.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say, it's all right.
And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with doing what you got to do to play what you got to play. If you teach it to yourself, if you learn from YouTube, whatever it may be, as long as you get a result that's good, you should be totally fine. So Richie Havens, somebody who taught himself how to play guitar, and he is one of the GOATs in my eyes, honestly. Next up, we have Prince. You guys knew this was coming. Prince is one of the most prolific guitar players. A lot of these people on this list are guitar players. Like, you got some chromatic stuff going on, you got different scales, you got all these different kinds of music technicalities and things that I'm sure have terminology, proper words for. When we're learning, when we're self-taught, we don't care about the names, we don't care about what it's called, we don't care about all that stuff. Can I do it or can't I do it? Does it sound good or doesn't it sound good? So I would imagine this is kind of like the same thing that maybe Prince dealt with when he was learning how to play guitar, because let me read this right here. So Prince, not content to merely teach himself to be a pro at one instrument, Prince taught himself piano, okay, here we go, at age 7. At the age at which he wrote his first song, with the ever apt title Funk Machine, of course. And then he taught himself guitar at 13 and drums at 14, and it all paid off. So he taught himself 3 different instruments: guitar, piano, and drums. By the age of 20, he signed with Warner Brothers. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. You're teaching yourself how to make this music. No professional lessons. You're just going in there, and in terms of how I learned, I just basically copied everything that I heard and I tried to replicate it, and that's how I got to where I am now. So a very good example, Prince. Next up, an interesting choice, a trumpet player, very well known in jazz, world-renowned, Louis Armstrong. And he was somebody who also is self-taught. One of the forefathers of jazz, Armstrong's musical life started early when he started playing the trumpet at a home for delinquent youths. He was sent to repeatedly. Oh, wow. So he was sent to a delinquent home for youth people, and he learned how to play trumpet there. And he is a legend in the jazz world. You know, if you don't know who Louis Armstrong is, let me just say this.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
You should know. You should know. You've heard that song before. Don't tell me you don't know that song. Oh. And I would imagine back in these times, and maybe a little earlier as well, it wasn't as hard. I mean, it wasn't as easy for a black person to be taught actual lessons, you know, the theory of it all. When you think about Ray Charles, you think about, I believe in the movie, he was taught by someone else, just kind of watching him play the keys. You know, hit the keys and do these different things. And it was kind of like teaching from emotion, from doing, and from listening. It wasn't so much like, okay, let's go to class now and blah, 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 blah. This is dissonance and here are sevenths and majors and minors and all these different things. It was just a feeling. And so being able to learn from in that realm and apply this to professional musicianship and people performing, and you're being invited to these different places, it's crazy. And he's being one of the forefathers of jazz, which is such a technical genre. The way that you play it, the intonations, and all these different things, it's just amazing. So another self-taught musician, a trumpet player, and an incredible singer, in my opinion, just very unique. Now, my next example, Charlie Puth, I wouldn't say he's so much an example of not knowing theory. I think Charlie probably knows, he knows a whole lot about theory. But the reason I bring him up is because his story, he learned how to sing via autotune. He used autotune to teach himself how to sing. And I was reading this article here that basically said he's not ashamed of the fact, but he would sing a note and then pitch correct it in autotune so that he was singing the correct frequency and then try to emulate the notes that he just heard. So that's actually how I learned how to play the keys. I would try to listen to something that was being played and emulate exactly what I heard. I didn't know the names of the chords. I didn't know the scales or the keys that the songs were in. I didn't know the difference between a major and a minor. I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. All I knew was, how can I replicate this sound? Let me just find all the notes. Boom, there it is, there it is, there it is. He essentially did the same thing, but with singing. So if there are any singers out there who are watching this video, you can learn how to sing even if you don't know music theory. And I'm not saying you shouldn't learn music theory. It's going to help you tremendously if you at least know the bare minimum. But anyway, so Charlie Puth learned how to sing by using autotune to pitch correct himself when he was singing the incorrect notes and tried to emulate that sound. And then you get stuff like this.
Boy, tell me, was it real or just for sure? She said, sweet love won't lose you. Baby, I just gotta know, how long has this been growing?
Listen to how precise these notes are, dude. And this is for somebody who didn't know how to sing previously, and he learned from autotune. So pretty dope, I would say. And Charlie Puth is one of the greats, greatest, right? He wrote that song "See You Again" with Wiz Khalifa. It's been a long day. We all know Charlie Puth. He's an incredible musician and incredible songwriter. Last one, David Bowie. So Bowie has taught himself such an overwhelming number of disciplines that we won't have room to list them all here. He took some lessons on saxophone as a teenager, but taught himself piano, guitar, harmonica, koto, I don't even know what that is, bass, and percussion. This guy is nuts. Then, just to branch out, he taught himself painting, sculpture, and mime. This goes to show you how much of a true artist David Bowie was and how much we should appreciate him. But he was such a unique person and taught himself so many different things, from saxophone to harmonica to we all know guitar and all that stuff. It just goes to show you how incredible you can be when you're self-sufficient. You don't need, I mean, some people, like, it depends on the person. Some people need the touch of a teacher or a mentor or somebody to teach them things, but you don't need someone to teach you these things or to know the technicalities of it. You just go out there and do it if it's in you to do it. I wanted to give these examples to kind of answer the question for me, and if you didn't quite get what I'm trying to get at, basically, do you need music theory in order to make music? Do you need to know music theory? Do you need to know terms and stuff to make great music? And my answer is yes and no. You don't need to know the names. You don't need to know the technicalities. You don't need to know how to pronounce Dravidian dithyramb or crescendo, decrescendo, all the Latin terms and all these different things that basically go into sheet music and all that stuff. You don't need to know all that stuff. So all you need to know is the theory just by how it sounds. The theory in use, the theory in actual usage. It's not so much important because you can have all the terms down in the world. You can know the difference between the majors and the minors and the sevenths and the chromatic scales and all these different. You can know the terminologies of all these different things and can say this. The scale of this is A flat, C sharp, whatever. But if you can't play it, if you can't sing it, if you can't communicate that into like actual notes by playing or singing, it's useless, because music is all about the sound anyway. So hopefully what I showed you here with these artists, and there's countless others, if you Google artists who are self-taught or something like that, there's going to be lists upon lists that come up. But this is the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments. Leave a like if you thought this video was helpful. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, set them to all so you'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video. I'm trying to get my ratio up because currently I have, let's find out, 80% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. And of that 18% that are subscribed, only 17% of you have all notifications turned on. I'm trying to get that to like 25%, and I'm trying to get this subscribed ratio of people that are watching my videos to be more like 50%, but right now it's just 18%. So I'm trying to change that. Guys, help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. And it would help out the channel in the future, you know, once I am able to demand higher prices, pay for different things, and kind of help you guys out, do giveaways the way that I want to do them. But anyway, that's for a separate time, a separate discussion. I thank you guys for watching either way. And with that being said, that is all. As always, I love you and stay legendary. Peace.